memamu akwaba adiba ayenim de ni nsusu na yenyina yenim brick mu ensensem anase na otwe mu ensensem a ekoso awo oman Ghana mu ha yenyina yenim se yenwura anase yen former finance minister Mr. King Ofori Ata ne ensensem a ekoso ama OSP ane ne nkofo de ensensem na wei na ebasa am Richard Jakpa kan committee anase committee omko se omko ready for anase omko inspect anyama ewo yenwura King Ofori Ata fie na omunim se hwehwemu no omko yo se den omko browre fie ho na we ene de ensem bebre ababonti na ne de edom kuma ne da no ni majority minority leader Alexander Afenyo Marcus ene de wakasa papa ne ensem okan no so de chese abufu anase okan ensem a ano edin na yenchan yen konkote yenwura Alexander Afenyo Marcus ene de emra okasa ensem na okan yi bi.
A former presidential envoy has contributed to nation building. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, when His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo nominated him for the finance ministry portfolio, this house had to wait because he indicated he was unwell and seeking for medical treatment outside. Mr. Speaker, in fact, when he even came, he was the only minister that his vetting took 2 days, and in between, this house indulged him to enable him take some break, to enable him proceed with his vetting. Eventually, he left government as a cabinet minister. And Mr. Speaker, for the records, on the 2nd of January 2025, he wrote to the then Chief of Staff that he needed to travel to Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, USA, for some medical procedure. Mr. Speaker, after President Mahama had taken office, he again wrote to the current Chief of Staff in a letter dated the 22nd of January 2025, indicating that he would again be absent from Ghana for the same purpose. Mr. Speaker, in fact, in the said letter to the Chief of Staff, he attached a letter from the hospital that he was seeking treatment. Mr. Speaker, indeed, the OSP wrote to him on the 24th of January. In fact, this is the first letter that he received from the OSP. Mr. Speaker, in the said letter, Mr. Ken Ofori Atta instructed his lawyers to respond to let the OSP know that indeed he was out of the jurisdiction seeking medical treatment. Mr. Speaker, what happened yesterday by state security operatives must be condemned by all of us. Honorable John Jinapor has narrated his own ordeal, but the records of this house will confirm that when that happened, Right Honorable Speaker Okwe condemned that act. If indeed something had happened yesterday, it does not mean that we should continue today. Mr. Speaker, I have heard human rights activists, respected lawyers for that matter, quote Article 18 of the Constitution to say that that is not applicable in this case. Mr. Speaker, I beg to submit that was a wrong appreciation of the law. Military men led by Mr. Richard Jakpa unlawfully entered the premises of Mr. Kenufuriata, searched his rooms.
Honorable Minority Leader, the unlawful entry is by your own determination.
Mr. Speaker, you know that by virtue of where we sit, we are able to do some background check before we come here. I wouldn't want to mention names, but Mr. Speaker, when inquiry was made, Mr. Speaker, when inquiry was made, it was obvious, and I state it for emphasis, that those officials from the state did not have any warrant. Mr. Speaker, we should not encourage such an approach. We should not. Our democracy.
Now, while we are all boss, I feel we need to see you.
Debbie.
That is our own, then a father to me come on.
No, got evidence, eh, Bia.
Yes, we are prayer with this war, radio, on the crab up for the day. So it will be except we miss that to you. You said, yeah, Nipa of the Pontian only, Nipa only a bang. A better as well. A boy, Pontia catastrophe, a bay, a grandfather. The still a mepe. Nipa special prosecutor and now independent attorney general on share by himself. Now will be a bit bonibia or bit me. I didn't a family acquisition. So I am the constitutional amendment. No, at the order that empty a bra nanado she said. Special prosecutor. Nanka Breman of Crass, Obetinu, a constitutional amendment. No, now I just appointed independent attorney general. But no, I can't. As I said, now, and yet the botanist or quality appetite said, and the botanist said, obey BB, and the abridged amount for this or quality appetite said for it. Now, no one can tell me, say, in thinking, I also said, no, 18 and 18. And it's a 1 thing, and yet, now, or special prosecutor, or no 20 million Kiobiano. It's another planning, say, a constitutional amendment, and so, why you want you? Because on paper, Obibenya, or the backward Yakatan, the same for it. And I said that yes, but of a two big amount for Miss O'Neill, who said, many abra or quality answer or facilitate corruption. I amend the constitution, not quite the wow, but me, I am I'm a special prosecutor, acting a prosecutor. 80 because yes, was special prosecutor, you know, Obiano. And only for sure. Anka Ninka Namu Yansay and that year war, baby, I never separate Attorney General Minister of Justice. Now, Attorney General, Odia the Nanswa, only Minister Bia, Senator, and Senate, or they will be a court. And none of the bit in our quality architect, Senator. Nothing, Yemra not. Yet they quality architect is senator and also young system. Now, when defining idea and corruption, and charge it will be bonipa. Yes, many yellow and media, but my own said, charge the power, you take media bonipa, say, you pay corruption. We didn't go and Rabiam. Oh, sir, yeah, you done a 4 years, say, we are corruption, we are corruption, we do for either say better say stealing and now say causing financial loss to the state. Now corruption and casano. And said that mean definition be our emblem. It is the day I say quantity corruption and quantity corruption. Corruption has not been properly defined. And yet chargeable offense here, it may be charging me. So, at the prosecute corruption and also. As I say, I am running define and also. Then we are different from ordinary cases here. Yet the court, in the court, and rather, tap or one, as I see it in technicalities near the identity in a free home. Now, yet to me, and a chimney panel said, I am didn't make a task. Feel it, but so many at night, but so many years, near dinner ceremony. Now, I think you're over at the amount. Now, if we jama lay upon technicalities here, and feeling, not me, Papa, for case you were caught. It didn't go back here. I might know what could you at the Senate to and one more special law. Dealing with corruption, no, and they quite fast to prosecute and contempt. I mean to say, yeah, yes, say, yeah, Chini Panua, yet did no, assigned the Narcofa, normal, lengthy procedures, yeah, they prosecute to corruption, and they are for you could see where they are. Not let the American,
okay,
and when we are. Constitutional amendment na ebema kwanya me independent attorney general no ayo we are professional prosecutors and we want office of the attorney general we are yemra fofora ye be define corruption and the kwanya procedure ye be prosecute corruption stringent.
Wow.
Maybe it might be a little.
Now,
Constitution. It is a shamra. When I cut a corruption case is Nino. Then farmer regional tribunal. That tribunal has also war. Procedures near there. One would be the non tentem. Relative Nina, your catty free ho. Now, your data cases, you know. Emma or one. The really say, ever contempt. What would you be a period now? Be our own catcher or coapilia? The prince and other crap, hopefully prison one of the quality. And now, options is soon, Tribunal says, do a crap, plea bargaining options near the war. What do your mind is speaker? A year, 100 million. Opa, Pabra. Na yanki wa so keso. Bebre wa ho wa mo da o fate tika o mo di o mba fi bia ba. O fi de ba ni ensaka. Na ni gba pie no kanu yi na wa na prison kura. Say ensaka isika.
Ani.
Because the nipa no ko to prison. O ta ko ta dia na ma na di o prison ho. Sika na o ya no so wa fa. Enti anu ni na ye options ya. You bet me, and you should not be in a say, you recover duty, no. Principally, they are reforming the panel. You did say, they are the habit to be at such canna or we are be prepared. No. Today, I said, me could be a home. Now, I said, me copra, some mamma will be a me, I said, me quality architect is any prayer, and you are meeting. And ye buy it. Ya bate ubia ubedi dream etia or mine. Na and someone I told you like so and so I can't remember say Nipano. Only bonnet now person attempt on the swap. And no over can I put it. It is said. Yet the political hatred, the crap for you be not a possible be a non-depa, a dream, no the number. near coaching me power on your boneno. And it's a cafe. Pam no channel. Young independent attorney general. Onu de oni obi afa. Obi obeti no bi ano. Wadi boni. Na assembly printer and this obi pochi obi on ye boni. O cheno dia balance niema. Na onu ti achire no obi boni a. Da bia e to isi ma bubu ani so. Ani e wulu de odi boni an kasa. Ebi na e koso. What might you be? On ye na ya nunti, and now for you, I say, I would see Netiaka also, very agent. Yan no channel. Independent attorney general, only will be our firm. And all the Obechoa, the India Hotel, no, I only will be a first book. Now I will know the waffle. I should not mean Coca, etc. The decay, about here, Nepal, Fourth Republic, Wamba. Na any Bosumi, Nukra, what me a pound the minister for you, ye. Any mother is the president, Mahama. About here, Nepal, Council of State election, or by a me Bosumi, yeah. And send you yes, well, almost with him. It's in your manner, a costo, and choir or fasto, and your man. Only to turn the first term now by now to say, we know, Waconia is sweet as the past, what the edge man. And ya dear, would dear, Brokra.